The real story of Joan of Arc is darker and more miraculous than you think. She was only 13 when the voices came. They echoed not from the world of men, but from a higher realm, solemn, urgent, divine. Saints, they said, Michael, Catherine, Margaret. They told her France was dying, and she, a peasant girl from Domremy, was the one who would save it. Joan was no noble. She couldn't read or write, but she rode into history wearing battered armor and divine purpose. At 16, she cut her hair like a boy, dressed like a soldier, and marched through war-torn fields under banners of white. They called her the Maid of Orleans. But to the broken, starved, and bleeding people of France, she was something more, a sign that God had not forgotten them. In the spring of 1429, she walked through fire. Joan led the French forces to liberate Orleans, a city under siege for months. Her presence on the battlefield, clad in white atop a war horse, was both miracle and madness. Arrows fell, blood soaked the ground, but she would not break. Her voice lifted the weary. Her courage shamed cowards, and when Orleans was freed, they called it an act of God. But the higher she climbed, the more powerful men grew uneasy. Kings and bishops do not like prophets from barns. In 1430, Joan was captured by Burgundian forces, sold to the English, imprisoned, interrogated, tortured, and then they put her on trial, not for war, not for her victories, but for wearing men's clothes, for claiming visions, for speaking to saints without the church's permission. She was 19. They shaved her head, denied her sleep, tried to break her faith with fear. But Joan stood tall in rags and chains and swore, even as she trembled, "I am not afraid. I was born to do this." They burned her alive in the market square of Rouen, and when the flames died, they found her heart unburned. 25 years later, the church declared her innocent. Nearly 500 years after her death, they made her a saint. But long before that, long before the crowns and titles and statues, Joan of Arc was something no man could silence. A girl who believed she could speak to heaven and made the world listen. This has been another nightly bedtime story. Sleep well and dream deep. If you enjoyed your time here, please leave a like, follow, and share it with a fellow night owl. Until next time, good night and sweet dreams.